Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. If you follow my channel, I've done a couple videos on HUMBL or TSNPD. Used to be TSNP. Now you need to add the D on it since the reverse split. But this is kind of some information talking how crypto startup HUMBL became the top penny stock of 2021. And I thought it was some pretty good information. If you're watching this, I'm sure you maybe have some HUMBL or TSNPD stock. I do. I have. I lost track. I just bought some again last week. I didn't get into it real early at the 50 cent or 10 cent or below price. Prior to the split, my cost basis was probably like 78, 80 cents, maybe 85. Now I think it's about, I'm not for sure, $3 or something like that after the split. Might have to check it again, but it's in a Fidelity account. This one's over the counter. If you have Robinhood, you can't buy this one since it's over the counter. You either have to go with TD Ameritrade or Fidelity. Fidelity does not charge a commission. That's why I go with Fidelity. But this is how crypto startup HUMBL became the top penny stock of 2021. In early February, virtually unknown company Tesoro Enterprises suddenly found itself as the largest actively traded company on the OTC market. At a $7 billion valuation, the company was briefly worth more than JetBlue Airways and GoPro combined. But there was one problem. Neither the company nor the merged entity HUMBL had a full-fledged operating business quite yet. Instead, the combined entity was merely an early-stage startup, a dream and a series of test products put forth by a charismatic CEO and his team. Its multi-unicorn status was merely a product of OTC share price, a number controlled by penny stock investors. And I'm not going to read the whole article to you, so feel free to pause and read the rest there for yourself. But there's a lot of good information here in this article. Retail investors have found their way into world of earlier stage investing. The recent surge of SPACs, initial coin offerings, and OTC stocks mean that ordinary folks can now buy into companies that were once only available to angel investors and venture capitalists. TSNP stock and HUMBL, a marriage made in Cryptoland. And I've made a couple of videos on this one, so if you're not that familiar with HUMBL, I'll link those and you can go ahead and watch those in the description. I'll link them all together. In November, HUMBL, a global payment startup, merged with Tesoro Enterprises in a deal worth $10 million. Tesoro Enterprises itself is a relatively inactive company trading on over-the-counter pink sheets. Its final official SEC financial filing came in 2007, where the value-added reseller of ceramic floor and wall covering products reported on its bankruptcy. After filing another small offering in 2010, the company went silent for over a decade. HUMBL, meanwhile, was a hot startup in the payments and blockchain space. And if you follow my channel, I have done quite a few videos over blockchain. I just released one on Dogecoin earlier. I've done, that's my second Doge, and I've covered blockchain, Mara, Riot, BTBT, and so on. The young company founded by CEO Brian Foote was awarded the Best North American Startup at the 2019 World Blockchain Summit. Why would a payment startup merge with a tile distributor? Without any apparent synergies, HUMBL's management likely did the deal so that they could access over-the-counter capital markets, the Wild West of finance. OTC markets, unimaginable wealth, and backwater of bankruptcy. The Wall Street establishment tend to look down at the OTC market with minimal reporting requirements and off-exchange dealings. Scam companies can often pass off as legitimate ones. And also where many delisted companies go after their shares become worthless. However, the OTC market is much like visiting grandma's house and getting ice cream for breakfast. It offers a do-anything attitude that would make Mom, the SEC, furious. Pretty good analogy. Companies aren't required to file audited financial statements, making it a cheap place to do business, and OTC markets also allow companies to deal in the legal gray areas. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, for instance, trades OTC, making it the largest non-company entity on the exchange. So, like I said, a lot of good information here in this particular article, which is on Investor's Place. HUMBL takes on 8 OTC markets. And feel free to pause and read the majority of that there for yourself. The plan worked after its merger in November 2020. TSNPD stock rose from a penny to over 16 cents, a stunning 1,500% return. Much of this was from Smart Investor Relationship Campaign, the song and dance that most startups perform for their VC overlords. HUMBL did the same for a penny stock investors, and its early announcements created the intended result on its stock price. But in late January, things started to spiral out of control. In 8 days, the company announced launches in international payments, e-commerce, and blockchain products. Its shares immediately jumped to $1.91, almost a 20% gain from barely 2 months before. By the time the company announced the launch of the Block ETX products, its market value of $7 billion had surpassed the 2 pure-play blockchain companies listed on the NASDAQ exchange, Mara, that I've talked about, and Riot, I've also talked about here on the channel. There was one problem. HUMBL was still a startup. Its products were a collection of test cases or minimally viable products. VCs might have seen right through valuing HUMBL in the tens of or hundreds of millions of dollars, but they certainly wouldn't have paid $7 billion for the firm. To reach that valuation, the firm would have needed to look like Uber in late 2013, the year the ride-hailing firm would reportedly earn $200 million on over $1 billion worth of rides. HUMBL's unexpected rise. To understand how HUMBL became a $7 billion company, let's rewind to December 2020, when the company started its 3-stage investor relations push. In December, the month HUMBL launches a destination for highly curated holiday deals, coupon codes, and affiliate discount links in shopping verticals like electronics, health, beauty, home, fashion, fitness, and kids. Investors might have initially cheered at the news like grandma's ice cream breakfast. Only a killjoy could turn down highly curated holiday deals. But experienced VCs checking the HumblePay.com site would have noted the true MVP nature of the product. On Act 2 in January 2021, HUMBL launches HUMBL Studios, a global merchant listings and web payment integration services. Again, the launch is a great start for an MVP, leaving room for a future payment system. A quick check on BuiltWith, a website that checks technology platforms, and a quick call with the firm confirms that HUMBL runs Stripe as its payment processor. Act 3, February 2021, cryptocurrency. HUMBL makes its most significant announcement yet. HUMBL Financial launches Block ETX products in over 100 countries. The press release sent TSNP HUMBL stock soaring to $7 billion market cap, and rightly so. The financial firm has long tried to launch blockchain ETFs for regular investors. The first firm to achieve that globally could become the next billion-dollar commodity ETF. Sharp readers, however, would have noted that the Block ETX product is still in a beta testing phase. The outcome was not intended to be investment service or advice, but rather are completely non-custodial. In other words, Block ETX is a representation of an ETF, not an ETF itself. For crypto investors, it's the difference between buying $100,000 sports car versus buying a $50 manual on how to build one. The reality behind OTC companies, all this might remind cynics of the Fire Festival fiasco, a luxury music festival in 2017 that ended with thousands getting stranded on an island in the Bahamas. While concert goers were promised a luxurious getaway on a private island in Exuma, live music from top artists, and partying with famous celebrities, people mostly ended up with leaking tents and styrofoam-packed dinners. Many will fondly remember the viral photo of a cheese sandwich meant for the crew. That's bringing back memories. That was kind of an interesting deal. So, still more questions. In a post-regulation world, some might find this early-stage investing rather exciting. TSNP stock would have made any quick-thinking penny stock investors extraordinarily rich, and virtually all the VC-funded startups go through a fake-it-till-you-make-it cycle to raise capital and build world-beating products. If not clear, it's that what's going on here. After all, HUMBL's Block ETX product, for instance, has incredible real-world applications. There's also a hero element. Brian Foote, HUMBL's CEO, has probably become a billionaire thanks to its initial investment in the firm, a feat that takes most successful startup founders not 2 months to achieve. That's, of course, if he thought of at least 20% of the company in its penny stock days. But OTC investing also has costs. Those who bought at the top of the TSNP ride would have seen their wealth get torpedoed as TSNP stock sank back below $1. And Mr. Foote, under no obligation to build the products his firm has promised to bring. What can we learn? Audited financial statements aren't perfect. Plenty of companies stretch reality and even sometimes fake their numbers, but they're most objective source of truth that investors have. Since the Sarbanes-Oxley Act passed in 2002, corporate executives now face jail time for filing misleading financial statements. Early-stage investors, however, don't have that luxury. Instead, they faced with companies like HUMBL, a black box that could be the next PayPal, and that's why I've been following it. That's why a lot of people, I think, have been following it, as it's considered the next PayPal, or very often the next zero. Studies show the average OTC investment drops 60% every year. So which one is it? HUMBL investors had collectively lost $4 billion since the stock peaked in its early February before seeing an equally fast ride back up. But it's only when the company relists on a major exchange and publishes audited statements that investors will finally find out what's under the hood. Until then, we can only all hang on to the dream that only penny stocks, VC-funded companies, and slot machines can provide that magical ticket that might one day turn out to be a beautiful winner. And so I thought it was kind of an interesting article, and just wanted to throw that out there, and didn't know if you HUMBL followers had actually come across this. It was kind of interesting. A lot of good information in there talking about over-the-counter. From what I can see, a lot of people are still bullish on this one. I'm pretty bullish on it myself. I check the stock prices and buy the dips whenever I can. There's not too much information here in Reddit as of recently. Can't stop and won't stop. Karen took the kids, and now I don't need to pay for the heating. More TSNP for me. But like I said, from what I can see, most everybody's bullish on this. And I mean, if it's going to be the next PayPal, this could be huge. I'm bullish on it. Like I said, I try to buy one on the dips whenever I can. And I'm in this one for the long run. I'm not trading it, so. But as you can see here, a lot of people are bullish on it. And I think this next week is hopefully going to be in the green. Hopefully we don't go back in the red, but it created some buying opportunities, so it's all good. But we don't like to see our stocks dip. But from time to time, they do need a correction, so. But all kinds of different comments in here. But if you have any of this one, go ahead and leave that in the comments, as well as your cost basis and how many shares you have. That would be really interesting to know. And of course, if you're bullish on it. And that is it. I just wanted to do a quick video on HUMBL Pay, or TSNPD. And as you can see right now, it's at $3.50, and this is kind of what it did here over the last week. Just kind of went down and was in the red, just kind of traded kind of sideways, but it did come back up. So I missed this dip. I think I put in a buy for about $3, and I can't remember how many shares I bought. Total on this one, I kind of lost track in regards to the reverse split, but maybe someday here on the channel I will reveal all my shares, but right now all I reveal is what I have in Robinhood. So again, if you haven't smashed that like button, go ahead and hit that for me. Give it a Hulk smash, and go ahead and subscribe. And I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. I know we can do it. I know you guys can do it. So I thank you for all the likes. The comments are always welcome, and if you have any other ideas out there that you want me to do videos about, go ahead and put that in the comment as well, and I'll see what I can do to put a video together. Again, this is J Money, Following Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.